Hello and welcome to the Journey with Ammar Sheikh, where we explore stories of achievers, believers, change makers, and dreamers. Every person's journey has a story, some told, some untold. Today we are going to uncover one of those, keeping it raw, real, and inspiring. Success is not only about achieving numbers, machines, or titles. It's about creating impact, building relationships, and inspiring growth beyond borders. Our guest is someone who has built a strong global presence in the real estate industry through his leadership, vision, and trust. Joining me today is an accomplished real estate leader, a guru as they call it, an international speaker. Yousaf Iqbal is the country head and director of IQI Canada, which is a part of Jowai IQI, a global real estate network operating across 35 countries. With over a decade experience in the Canadian and US real estate markets, he specializes in residential, commercial, and pre-construction real estate, having worked with more than 2,000 clients locally and internationally. Beyond transactions, Yousaf is passionate about mentorship, leadership development, and community impact. He has also spoken at major international events on the real estate across Dubai, Malaysia, Australia, the Philippines, and the United States, sharing insights on global markets, trends, and leadership. Today we'll discuss more on real estate, global impact, and how the Canadian and US market is coming down. And above all, we'll get to know our wonderful guest, Mr. Yousaf Iqbal. Please join me in welcoming Yousaf Iqbal. Assalamu alaikum and welcome.
Walaikum Assalam. Thank you so much, Ammar, for inviting me, and thank you so much for the kind introduction.
Absolutely a pleasure. When I was reading about your profile and biodata, I was already impressed, and in knowing you personally, always have added the better value to it. Thank you so much for taking time out, sir. I know you have always been swamped in work, but thank you so much that the timings worked out well.
Absolutely, any time for that. And let me tell you one thing, the journey with Ammar is really amazing. I've been looking at your episodes, and you are doing an amazing and wonderful job.
Thank you, thank you. It's just an encouragement from seniors and brothers like yourself. Thank you so much again. You know the format of the show.
Yeah.
It's just a small, I just keep it that way. I say that it's just a small giving back to our community,
Yes.
to our people. It's about the people who are the change makers of the society. It's not about their own self having some accomplishment, buying Bugattis and Ferraris.
True.
I feel the real heroes are the ones who have really done something for others,
Yes.
beyond themselves. So that's why I choose my guest accordingly, and I'm glad you made it today.
Thank you.
Joseph, I'll just start with a very basic concept that I really want you to start with your very beginning, from your early on days. How were you as a child? What was your beginning like? Where are you from? Let's start with that.
Sure. So I lived all my life in Dubai, a major part of my life in Dubai. I did my education over there. I've come from a business background from my family. My dad was in the construction business in Dubai for years. After graduating, I worked for the International Bank, ABN AMRO Bank in Dubai for about 6 years. And then after that, I wanted to continue with my education and do my master's, so I went to US for my MBA. After my MBA, I decided that I should come to Canada, and then I was here in 2006. It's been almost 20 years now.
Wow, 2 decades.
Yeah, so but again, the journey like, as a childhood, I was always passionate about business, about entrepreneurship, about learning a lot of things, and also at the same time, whatever I could learn and understand, see how I can help and also pass that knowledge to others.
Right. Yeah, like we were talking off camera, knowing you as a friend, as a person, you have been a people's person all your life, and I can sincerely see that in you, the way you want to help others, and mashallah, now you have your own real estate firm, you have over 80 agents working under you. I'm sure that they're happy to be learning from a mentor like yourself, and I am truly really happy that you're here today. Tell us more about your childhood, because I believe that a person's personality, the basic foundation is done from their own home, and the mindset starts growing from their early ages. So that's why my focus is a lot on the childhood. You know, some people are traumatized with whatever little events, with after growing up, say, okay, it was just nothing, right?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
for that baby or a kid, it's something so impactful, so powerful, that anxiety or that stress never goes away. So my stress would be about the childhood, in especially knowing from the leaders. It's like my personally, it's something which I really eagerly learning from my guests as well. So I'll ask you the same question to you.
So I would say that, like, I'm come from a very, very humble family, right? I mean, again, my dad, when he came to Dubai, it was around 1967, 68, when UAE was still not UAE,
Wow.
So he was, I would say, definitely a self-maker, who started up everything together, putting things together on that. I think as a child, it was very important for me to get, learn from my dad. And at the same time, we have a mashallah family of like 5 within brothers and sisters on that. And I'm the youngest one on that. So there was a lot of learning from your elders at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think your journey, even starts, I say that right from the childhood. When you go to your grade 1 or your grade nursery, you got 2 choices. You got kids who are mischievous, and there are kids who are a little bit more, serious about it on that. You start making your choices then and there only on that, right?
Yeah.
I think I was the one who always wanted to be a little bit more shy sort of a person on that to start in the beginning. And I remember, that if I have to really speak somewhere in the beginning, it was very difficult for me to speak, in front of people and stuff like that. But over the time, when I started, going through my school days, for my college days, and going, especially when I stepped into the university side of it on that, I think that inbuilt thing was coming along with me, that I was becoming more like a people person,
Yeah.
Again, wanted to be speaking to a lot of people, always friendly and always have more friends. And I can tell you one thing, that I can gel into people very easily on that.
I
don't
can
know how
vouch
you could
for
say that on that.
I can certainly vouch for that, sir. I know. Thank you so much for that. Any early days challenges you may have?
Ammar bhai, there's always challenges.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody who would say they did not have challenges would not be right. So yeah, there's always early day challenges. I think the first thing was, the challenge was to decide which career path we really want to go on there, right?
Yeah.
At that point in time, there was not much of a choice when we were going to school. Either it was science or arts or business on that. I was never a science student, unfortunately, on that. But I always wanted to be somebody who would be more on the business side of it on that. So that was one first challenge, was to decide which field to go into it on that. And once I decided to go into that challenge, I think over the stages of life, there were different challenges we were coming across. For example, when I came to Canada, me and my wife, we literally knew nobody over here on that. We had no idea where would be the nearest bank would be and things like that, right? I mean, that by itself was really challenging, because now you are into a new country, Yeah, I knew few friends, but they were friends. There was no immediate family member in Canada on that. So, that was the challenges on that. Coming here in Canada and also deciding on your career was, again, not that easy at the same time as well. As you know, like everybody who comes to Canada, they go through those challenges. But I would say that, I've been really blessed. Alhamdulillah, I've been really blessed, again, with very kind friends, very kind family. Even my own company right now, the IKEA Global Real Estate, my partners, Kashif Ansari, Shahid, Daniel, Sheila, Nabil, they're all my partners from Malaysia. They have been very supportive to me on that. So I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a people person, and I just had to, really wanted to see that how I can help people out, not just financially or just in terms of, getting houses done, right? I mean, people say that, you help people buy their dream house. I think it's more beyond that. I always tell my team that, it's not about selling. It's about being an advisory. you know, because you are dealing with somebody's financial decision, which is one of the major decisions, especially in Canada and US.
Absolutely.
You've seen that on that, right?
Yeah.
So it's better that you be an advisor on that.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, thank God, through my career of 15 years in real estate, that's one of the most passionate thing for me, which I've achieved.
Excellent. Excellent. Perfect. Yeah. So like you rightly mentioned, a lot of people are after the sales side of the whole, especially in real estate, unfortunately. But you rightly mentioned when we were speaking even otherwise too, that when you're passionate about something and the choices are correct, like in your case, you wanted to help people out with your advisory or whatever knowledge you had about the main structure of real estate, the money will follow eventually.
True.
And you're a prime example for that. While growing up, what was your mindset like? There are different kinds of mindset. Some people have, like you're already mentioning, being the youngest in the family, you had so many tools to adapt from. But any particular incident or any particular thing which made you shift the whole paradigm of your understanding, or your mindset became so you know, solid that you said, okay, this is what I am, this is what I want to be like?
So I'd say that I think everything starts from your home, right? As I said on that. What I've seen from my elders, from my parents, and from my friends was to see that how they have been helping each other as well. So for example, my dad's side, they had a family of about like 7 or 8 people, you know, from his brothers and sisters. And I've always seen them, you know, really helping the family out on that. I think that's, and even for his own construction company we had on that, he had about 400 employees under him on that. And all I could see was that always, you know, there was some sort of a help going along on that. I think that thing by itself gave me that passion that helping people out or, you know, giving back is more important than anything else on that. So that was, I would say, more of a mind shift on that. So when I was working for a bank, it was really good, right? I mean, more secured, more easy job.
Yeah.
I can tell you that, you know, again, as a banker, nothing better than being a banker on that. But in order to take those risks and those challenges, it's not easy. But I think there's always something within you which lets you go and take those risks on that, right? And that's where I said, you know, when I was in my banking industry, to be honest with you, I was doing good, but I was not able to find my passion on that, you know. And that's why I said, you know what, let me finish my job, go do an MBA, and try to do what I like to do.
Okay. No, like you rightly have concluded that you're the people's person and you like to help people. Any one you want to mention about your, while growing up, within your teachers or your early on, you know, employers, or within the family, who has been your mentor overall, or who has really impacted you in becoming who you are?
I would say that, you know, I've been, again, really blessed with the friends and the families I had. I just want to definitely mention about one of my teachers, you know. He was an English teacher, and, you know, unfortunately he's passed away now, but he was very passionate in marketing. So I remember the first time when I wanted to really speak out and things like that, I was like kind of really nervous, like how do I go about it, speak and things like that. So he called me up and he said, you know what, Yousaf, what's the problem? I said, you know what, I've never done a presentation and you're asking me to do a presentation in marketing. I don't even know what to do. I said, okay, take a deep breath and start. I said, is that easy? I said, yeah, just go ahead and do it on that. I think that was really a good turning point for me to speak up in public and things like that on that, right? So that made a difference to me on that. And I think throughout the journey, what I also learned is from my own siblings, my brothers and sisters, as well from them on that I have seen that they have always been more mentors than just being your brothers and sisters on that, right? In guiding you and helping you out on that. So, you know, it's a blessing, Ammar, when you keep getting those blessings from your elders, from your teachers, from your friends, from your partners, business partners. I was mentioning about my business partners. I'm really blessed to have my business partners. I mean, again, when I started up my real estate career in IQ, with real estate by itself, and I wanted to put up this IQI brokerage by itself, it was very difficult, you know. People used to tell me that, hey, you're a realtor, you're doing so well. Why do you want to get into putting up a brokerage, putting up a team together, bringing people up, that's going to eat a lot of your time and, financially as well at the same time. But again, I always say that, alhamdulillah, blessed, fortunate, I had that push from my family, from my friends, and of course my better half as well.
Okay, excellent. I was waiting for the right partner. On that wonderful note, when you have named about your life partner, I'll be taking a short break if you allow me to. Okay, we are exploring the wonderful Yousaf Iqbal about his personal journey, his real estate journey, and about the challenges he had earlier. We'll get to know more of him after a short break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the journey with Ammar Sheikh, where we are exploring the real estate guru, Mr. Yousaf Iqbal. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm still a student. I'm still learning.
You're a learning guru, a people's person, and a wonderful gentleman. I can, why I'm talking so highly and passionate about you, it's not just in front of the camera. This is what I really and truly believe.
Thank you so much.
This is why we are just moving towards the second segment of the show. We have already covered your past, of your early on days and stuff, and now it's about the present. So I know you are heading IQA Global, IQA Canada, I'm sorry, and you have some agents reporting to you, and mashallah, you're doing well. What has been your proudest accomplishment so far?
I think the biggest accomplishment for me is to the fact that I'm able to help. Again, not just my clients, but from a little bit of mentorship point of view as well. As I said, I'm still learning myself, but I have been really passionate about helping my agents, or even when it comes to my staff as well. I believe that it's really important to have the right mindset and pass that mindset to your people as well at the same time on that. It's always good to get educated, you learn a lot of things on that. But if you're not able to translate that into your people you're working with, I think that's where you lack on that.
Yeah.
I think the second, I would say that accomplishment for always has been that, as you said, helping people find their dream home. I feel like it's just not the dream home. I think it's like, finding them a home by itself, right? Yeah. I mean, you can find them anybody a house, but they make it a home. But at the same time, you got to be really passionate enough to make sure when you are taking somebody through that journey of buying or selling, or investing, whatever they're doing, it's a hard-earned money.
Yeah.
So you got to really put yourself in that shoe as well,
and
really think about it as well. Like, is it just a matter of a sale? Yeah. They always say, like, sales can go up and down, but service is really important. If you give a service, that will continue.
Yeah.
So I feel like those are my passions about it. I think another is that, being a part of a global real estate company, that is also something which is really good. I mean, I just didn't want it to open up any brokerage and be a part of a brokerage. The reason I started up a real estate brokerage, or a global real estate brokerage, was again of the passion and the mindset I had of going globally, not just doing something very locally on there, right? So that's how I started up.
Excellent, excellent. That's remarkable, sir. Okay, what inspires you or drives you the way you are, evolving yourself?
I think what's really helping me right now to keep evolving and inspiring myself is the fact that I want to keep learning myself at this point in time. I'm very passionate about learning from anybody. Whether it's somebody from, I see something on the street, I see somebody doing a small presentation, I see somebody giving something or speaking about something on that. I think that's really important for me to get inspired from that.
Right.
And also, what really inspires me is also to see the team and the people I started up. So we literally started up with 1 person, 2 people on that. And now when I see my team growing up and really doing what they're doing, it's again something that keeps me evolving.
Excellent. Excellent. Yousaf, since you had mentioned about your A life partner. So how are you keeping the work-life balance? Because I've heard more of the work than your personal life. So how are you keeping the balance?
So, that's a very good question, Ammar. Especially when it comes to real estate or any service industry, it's always so difficult to balance your
And considering the
work
fact
and
that
life
you're
on
so
that.
passionate about it.
Exactly, exactly. So, one thing which I would say that we did really good was that I brought my wife into the office.
Wow.
Not in real estate, not in real estate, okay? But that doesn't mean that we still have to balance our work life on that. But the good thing is that she understands, right? She understands the nature of the business, which I am right now in that, because although they say that, anybody who's in service industry feel like, oh, you know what, they've got some hours, they're on their own and things like that. That's not true. Actually, you are working 24/7.
True.
Even if you are on a holiday,
Yeah.
and I always say this very, very funny, like, whenever you go on a holiday, you try to go, your phone keeps ringing
Yeah.
immediately. All the people who didn't want it to you will come along on that. I think, my wife has been very supportive throughout the journey, and she has seen that how important it is to look at that. And because of her, I would say that it's been alhamdulillah, that I've been able to do what I'm doing right now.
Excellent. And that's very sweet and thoughtful of you. Sir, how do you define success in your own terms?
I think success is something which is based on not just on your financial things, but on the achievements, what you have done internally for your own satisfaction.
Right.
I think that's really important on that. A lot of time people will define success, as you rightly mentioning in the earlier time, not by the number of cars they've got, number of houses they've got, and things like that. I think it's really important that whatever you have learned today, giving back to your community, giving back to your family, giving back to the people you know, that's how I define success on that. Again, it's a very, very wide definition for the people, how success is.
Yeah.
For me, success is very simple. You help yourself and you help others.
Right. You help yourself and you help others. That brings me to the most integral part of the show, as I have already discussed and mentioned, that how are you giving back to the community? So the same question goes for you, since it's your passion as well, and within your services, you're already doing one part of it. But maybe there are other projects and other community work you are engaged in, so I would like to know more of that.
Sure. So IQI has a company, what we call as IQI Cares.
Okay.
So what IQI Care does is that we do a lot of community events, whether it's food drive, blood drive, and this is based not only in Malaysia but in different countries as well. So in Canada we do the same thing as well. Whatever we can in terms of giving back to the community, whether it's a food drive, whether it's a toy drive and things like that, we continue doing that as well. And I feel like, when you get blessed, it's really important that whatever little you can do, Ammar, it's not about, how much money or dollars you're spending on that. This could be a smaller action which you give on that, right? That's important as well. So at IQI and at our company level, we always believe in giving back to the community.
Right.
And that's the reason the IQI Cares initiative started up on that. Now, IQI Care in Malaysia is doing much more in terms of helping out some of the orphanages and some of the other places as well. In Canada, we are also trying to do whatever we can.
Excellent. So whatever we can. Any apart from IQI, any personal, projects or any personal things you are encountering yourself or taking care of yourself?
Yes, I am. Again, I've been part of some of the other charitable organizations as well. Again, that is something on a personal level, which I continue to doing it on that. Those are some of the like Helping Hands and some other organizations. Again, whatever we can do it, I'm still doing that as well on the personal side.
Of course. Thank you so much on that. Yousaf, I'll quickly throw you quick questions to make it very light. We have already discussed about the serious matters. So, if not real estate, what would you be doing?
Oh my God. That's a very good. I never
I'm
thought
not
about anything
changing your
about
career
that.
just for the sake of the show.
I think I would have been, if not then, I probably would have been okay with being a banker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
enjoyed
was
being
your
a
past
banker,
life
right? It was
anyway.
my past life on that. I think I would have been a banker. As a matter of fact, when I came to Canada and, before, getting into real estate, I was starting to think, what should I do? And I said, okay, let me try to go back into banking.
Yeah.
I think it was a blessing. I didn't get a job in banking.
Great. Good answer, sir. What would you advise to a younger self, a young Yousaf?
I would say a younger Yousaf is to, be patient and, wait for the right time. Things take time. They say the Rome was not built in one day. It takes time. I think it's really important to have that patience throughout the journey and, look for the broader vision of it on that.
Right.
In my early younger days, it was, always, again, financial pressures, one part of it which is always there. But when you were starting up and you're young, you're energetic, you get lost
Yeah.
sometime in your journey. Where do you really want to head out? And whether things are working out for you or not, right? I think
there
happens
are so many options as
yeah,
well.
exactly. There's so many options as well. So I would have, again, a younger Yousaf would have been be patient, which I learned a little bit hard way, let's put it that, or with the time as well.
You
On
seem to
that.
be a very cool, chilled out, calm guy. Okay. So a little more calmer or a more peaceful version of Yousaf as we see at the moment. Okay, fantastic. Any greatest or one greatest lesson you have really learned from someone or through life, what would have that been?
I think one of the greatest lessons which I have learned from some of my, again, I always want to go back to my dad. Again, I was very close to him, and I have seen his journey of starting up right from the scratch and building up on that. One thing I always looked at his journey was that, irrespective of whoever would come to the house when we were in Dubai, the doors was always open.
Yeah.
Whatever he could in terms of helping people up was there on that. I think for me that was always a passion which I wanted to make sure that whenever or whatever I could achieve, whatever I could come up with on that, I cannot be like that, but at least try to be a little bit more closer to that on that.
Good. Excellent. One word to define Yousaf Iqbal. One line. One word
In
will
one
be
line,
not enough.
I think still learning.
Sweet. How do you want to be remembered?
I would like to be remembered by a lot of people in a way that he was not a fly-by-night kind of a guy on that.
Yeah.
He did not want to come and do quick sales and quick this and quick that. I want to be remembered for families, for my kids, for the community. A person who was trying to at least help whatever, learning he had, he was trying to pass that on.
Yeah.
Whatever little bit of mentorship, which I was able to pass it on to the other people, I think that's what I would like to be remembered.
Okay, excellent. We are coming towards our final round, which is asking you for, quick last message for the audiences on this camera, please.
Sure. I want to tell anybody who is getting into the service industry, please, please, please make sure don't run after the money. The money will follow you on that. Please make sure that you become a good advisor in whatever industry you're in, right? Whether it is real estate, whether any kind of service industry. Be passionate about what you're doing. It's really important. If you're passionate and your vision is clear, you will have your achievements. And believe it or not, there will be a lot of people who will be willing to support you. And that will help you to support other people. And be thankful.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you so much, Zubair, for being on the show.
Thank
you for sharing your experiences, your insightful information, and I'm sure the way I have enjoyed the show, my audiences will enjoy the show too.
Thank you so much, Ammar, for the invite. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Thank you.
Wow, what a valuable conversation. I hope you get some good things out of the whole conversation. Today's discussion reminded us that real estate is not just about building properties. It's about people, vision, relationship and creating long-term impact, which was truly commendable. The way Yousaf was telling about his passion for real estate, it wasn't about numbers or chasing the sales. It was about the long-term impact of the relationship. And that's why I wanted to conclude in a way that you have to follow your passion. You can follow any profession, but if your character comes to help others, that bridge can get you money, fame, your relationships, and everything. So that's my 2 cents for the show. Thank you once again for being on the show, and for you, keep chasing your dreams as the journey is not over yet. This was your host Ammar Sheikh, and you were watching The Journey. Thank you so much.